Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining our series of webinars, last Thursday of every month. Today, the topic is our high power CFL category. It's a new and fast-growing category in energy efficient lighting, driven basically because it does the job at a low cost. And what we're going to discuss today basically are missed opportunities. We see often people coming in to get T-bay fixtures to retrofit that warehouse, maybe hundreds or several thousand fixtures. And on that same warehouse might be 60 or 80 wall packs outside and other applications that we are walking right past. So this is to help basically the distributor how to maximize those orders and certainly the reps who support those distributors. The MaxLite brand for these is HighMax, and I'm proud to say, frankly, that HighMax has become like the Xerox of high-power CFLs. We have several patents on the product in several nations. They say that to be copied is the greatest compliment, but I have to be honest, it still really makes me mad. Shortcuts like that aren't necessary. We've been doing this for about 7 years. The product had its bugs, and we worked them all out for, a half a decade now. They are a universal retrofit product for metal lamps, high pressure sodium, low pressure sodium, metal halide up to about 400 watts. They can be dedicated retrofit products. I know distributors who stock several wattages for very specific applications. They're doing a good job of adding these to existing orders when those contractors and energy service people are coming in to do T8 retrofits and the like, and it's just too easy to pass up on. And obviously a vast array of wattages for your applications and all the voltages required, and we have some color options as well. Metal halide lamps, high pressure sodium, they should all be replaced. Basically, I'll separate them into two categories, one being the Edison base and the other being the Mogul base. Different people can come to different conclusions on Mogul base, and we'll discuss that more in a moment. But for Edison base, most of these high pressure sodium metal halide lamps are 10,000 hour lamps. Our HighMax series is a 10,000 hour lamp. So life and labor are all equalized, coming in with about half the wattage. It's a very, very quick payback. Obviously, I think this audience knows. I took a quick look of the names of some of the folks that are here, and we do appreciate the time, by the way. And I think you know that, obviously there's a start issue. If you turn the lights off and back on again, you have between a 5 and 8 minute wait. The CRI on these lamps are very poor and degrade over time. A very steep lumen depreciation on these products, particularly the metal halide. And certainly the scotopic numbers, and we'll talk a little bit more about that as well, the scotopic numbers are negative due to this poor CRI and other factors. Now on the Mogul side, there you'll find between 20 and 28,000, some people claim even higher lifetimes on high pressure sodium and or metal halide lamps versus our 10,000. But it's still a very quick payback, and we'll talk more about that. I mentioned scotopic lumens, and for you distributors who are not familiar, and certainly your representatives who are not familiar with the science of scotopic lumens, just Google it, scotopic lumens. Some people call it pupil lumens. There's a lot of medical stuff in there, but our marketing PR department, Tim Wyatt, he did a great job of summarizing, full white pages on the subject, down to what's pertinent to you and I as lighting people. You can find that piece at MaxLite.com, click on products and then HighMax, and you'll see this supporting information as well as others. And basically what it says is due to CRI, due to Kelvin temperature, there's a ratio. The light meters that us lighting folks carry around are machines that don't differentiate CRI or color. They're looking at straight foot candles, and the human eye is very different from that. I'm not a doctor, I'm not going to get into it too much. The numbers that MaxLite use as a scotopic ratio are on the conservative side, and I will say that the moment that the IES, and I believe they're working on this, the moment that the IES publishes numbers, MaxLite will adopt those numbers. Basically what it says is if you have, for simple math, if you have a 10,000 lumen bulb and it meets the high CRI and the high Kelvin temperature, the actual lumens is a 1.96 multiplier. Now, if you take a high-pressure sodium lamp that, say, is also 10,000 hour lumens, due to the low CRI and the very, very low Kelvin temperature, it's a 0.62. So in the example given below, you can see how a lower wattage bulb to the human eye is a higher lumen output than the higher lumen output bulb. And again, it's a complicated subject, but we all should at least know the basics. MaxLite.com, products, and then HighMax for more information and a full explanation. This chart here that the folks did is really just a guide for you for applications. We'll run through it real quick. The 40 watt HighMax product was designed specifically as a retrofit for 100 watt metal halide recess cans. There are hundreds of thousands of them, if not millions, across the country. MaxLite has successfully retrofitted tens of thousands of those very successfully. I know some applications that are running for 3 years now, and that's high occupancy applications. Again, here, the lamp life is the same as a 100 watt metal halide. Our 40 watt, 60, and so on is the consumption of the actual product. In other words, our 40 is 40, our 200 is 200. Unlike metal halide high pressure sodium, which run over a 10% efficiency factor due to the ballast loss. So an example, 100 watt metal halide draws closer to 115, 116 actual watts. It's a one-for-one replacement. It's the same life. It's a much, much higher quality of light and has that instant restart. It's a no-brainer. It's literally a no-brainer. It's the fastest payback in lighting retrofit at any kilowatt rate. 60 and 80 watt, these are generally designed for wall packs, surface mounts, where you'll find your 70 through 150 watt high pressure sodium or metal halide lamps. These, like the other HighMax, you simply open the fixture, bypass the ballast, bring the power directly to the socket, and screw in the bulb. Again, no-brainer. The 100 watt is really for low bay applications. Some are using them even in large wall packs. I can't say enough about wall packs where there are applications that people are literally walking right by to get the low-hanging fruit, but these other fixtures, these peripheral fixtures, outdoor security, parking areas and the like, these can total hundreds and thousands of fixtures, and it's the best for your customer. If they want to go green and be energy efficient, why not go all the way? The 150 and 200 watt HighMax by far our biggest sellers. These are being used by the thousands a day, literally, in high ceiling applications such as warehouses, gymnasiums, and the like. Literally every day. This is a fantastic alternative to the choice product for this application, which is a T-bay or a linear fixture. Now, I should state here that, MaxLite has a full line of T5 and T8 linear fixtures. I don't have an axe to grind one way or the other. I enjoy the sales and supporting the distributors and the end users regardless of the product that they choose. But we have all run into applications where T-bay just isn't the right product, particularly in places where large amounts of uplight is used, certainly in applications where they may have just recently invested in an upgrade from 400 watt metal halide to 320 pulse start. They haven't even finished paying for the fixture, and now someone's there asking them to retrofit to a completely different fixture in a linear style. And a great retrofit for that application is just a simple HighMax product. More applications a little later. This is for those who just may not believe that 150 watt can take out a 400 watt lumen for lumen. Now, this is not scotopics. This is actually a lumen for lumen projection here. And this is used with not just a straight retrofit from bypassing the ballast of the 400 watt and screwing in a 150, but it also had an accessory, what we call the inner reflector. It's actually a half reflector that does a great job, as you can see, of focusing the light where you need it. The reason it's a half reflector is because it still allows for the uplight and the reflection off the ceiling. This particular application was a very large conference center in Manhattan, New York City. Now let me just take you through it quickly. The blue foot candle readings just around each lamp are the actual foot candles on the floor with a 150 watt HighMax retrofit with the inner reflector. The red numbers that you see are the 400 watt HighMax that you all should know that, by the way, it is absorbing, it is consuming about 450 to 455 total watts. Now, take a look, lamp for lamp, you'll see that the HighMax and the metal halide, the incumbent lamp, are very similar foot candles all around. But what I'd like to point out to you is the center points between the fixtures. You'll see there that the HighMax actually has the same foot candle readings at the center point between the fixtures as it does directly below the fixture, where the Metal halide obviously has hot and cold spots directly below the fixture. It's a higher foot candle reading by about 30%.